As a country, Uganda, and elsewhere in Africa, but also globally, we are struggling with non-communicable diseases. And this has been as a result of poor feeding, but also use of certain things like oils. Now, I will not go into the depth of which oils we've been accustomed to, but in Uganda, we've got a couple of people that have come up with initiatives to help us solve some of those by eating healthy. And when I talk about eating healthy, means the cooking oil that you use is very, very equally as important. And this oil we are talking about today is none other than avocado extra virgin oil. I know many of you have been used to olive oil, cannon oil. There are a couple of other oils that are healthy, but today we are talking about avocado extra virgin oil, and we are at Njojo Agro-Based Industries or Farm, located in Chenjojo district, nearly about 200 plus kilometers away from the capital city of Uganda, Kampala. And I'm joined by an amazing woman, Miss Nyambura. Nyambura, habari zako?
Mzuri sana.
Uko mzuri?
Thank you. Niko salama.
Take me through in just a few seconds. Why Uganda?
Wow, such an interesting question because Uganda is one place that has very fertile soils compared to Kenya. Well, it's my country, but the soils here are very fertile. The climate here is very good for agriculture, and most importantly, has avocado.
Okay.
Kenya is a pioneer in has avocado growing in Africa, but Uganda has potential. Majority of the farmers are embracing this high value crop. It's a relatively new crop in Uganda, but majority of the farmers are embracing and taking off with it.
Okay.
So I saw potential, and that's why I am here.
Interesting.
Yes.
So briefly, take us through what are your roles at Njojo Farm, and briefly give us a history of how we come to the oil production, because I do understand you started from the growing of has avocado and several other things, but just give us a brief history of Njojo Farm and how far we've come to this.
Okay, so my name is Masi Nyambura. I am the head of administration. I am head of finance and public relations here at Njojo Agro-Based Industries. And the process of planting the has avocado all through to getting the avocado oil is a really interesting one that I personally am very interested in. So once we plant our seed, because at Njojo we are able to we start right from the nursery. We do the propagation, we do the orchards where we plant only has avocado. We only have a pure stand, and then we do the processing. So at processing we get these fruits that we categorize. We have various categories. We have grade A, we have grade B, and grade C. So grade A is the fruit that we export. This is export grade. And then we have our grade B and grade C that now we come and process. Well, these fruits are not bad. They are all same quality, but because of these small defects that the export market doesn't allow, then we use them for oil. They have the same oil content, so they're equally good to process. So we have a team of experts that we have trained to work in our factories. They receive our fruit, they do the sorting for ripeness. Because when we harvest the fruit, then they are still raw. They're still raw. Rather, yes, they're mature but not ripe. So we have to ripen them. So the team that we work with does the sorting. They sort the ripe fruits, take them to the machine. Then the machine is automated. It's able to do the complete process. So it does we feed into the conveyor belts, and then from the conveyor the machine does the cleaning. After cleaning, there's a destoner. The destoner does the removing of the stone together with the seed, and then after that, then the pulp, whatever we eat, is sent to a malaxa that does the mixing, and then there's a decanter now that does the pressing of the oil. I imagine it as when you have a sponge and then you squeeze out the oil. So that's the purpose of the decanter, and then it sends it now for purifying. Then we get our extra virgin avocado oil. So this extra virgin avocado oil is later sent to a lab. We have an in-house lab where we test for the quality of the oil. And then after the testing, then we send it now to a purifying process, another cleaning process. where we remove all the sediments, and then after that, then we get good oil that we pack. So that's what we do here.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
So you've taken us literally through everything, but now I want to bring you a little back so that we understand the entire process, how it actually happens. So what is the purpose of weighing? Because I did see them weigh before actually even keeping it for ripening.
Weighing is it's an in-house control process, because we need to know the quantities rather that we have harvested from the garden. The garden team, the orchard team, still has its own records, but now when it comes to a different section, this is the factory, then the factory needs to have its own records so that it can know what the fed in versus the output. So it's very important to have records for the factory so that you can check. Yes.
The quantities as well.
Yep.
I know that we did harvest about 10 tons, and this is how much oil we've gotten from 10 tons.
Correct.
Interesting. How long does the raw avocado that is not ripe take to ripen?
Well, it takes about, under ambient temperatures, it takes about 2 weeks. But in refrigerated conditions, it can take up to a month or so, because Hass avocado is exported through sea, there is sea freight. So under those conditions, it can take up to a month, even plus, up to 40 days, when it's still raw but not ripe. But now under ambient temperatures, it can take up to 2 weeks for it to ripen, yes. It has a longer shelf life, I forgot to mention that. Actually, that's why it's preferred most for the export market, because the shelf life is long compared to our local
varieties.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's good. For somebody wondering, the reason as to why you started the production of the extra virgin avocado oil, could you take us through that?
Wow, Hass avocado is a high value crop. And the president, in his book Musevenomics, talks about farmers getting away from the subsistence way of doing agriculture. And now we are embracing high value crops. And what is one of the high value crops? Hass avocado. So we looked and saw that it's fit that we do it and also be a pioneer in this, because Njojo Agro-Based Industries is a pioneer in Hass avocado growing in the country. So we embraced it, took off with it, and then let other farmers in to do that. So it's a way of just getting our farmers out of the old ways of doing agriculture and now doing agriculture that can give them money, put food on their tables, not just planting and selling, and then you have to continue with the poverty cycle. So this is a high value crop. We export it. And also we help the country with revenues. When we export the fruit, when we export the oil, then revenue comes back to the country. So it's both to the farmer, to the company, and to the country.
During the production process, I saw somebody sorting the avocados, putting about 5 pieces per those sections that are taking them up. Why not just put like 10 or 20? Why only a few? The one that was going up.
Because we have to control whatever the machine takes. So in this case, if we let a lot of the fruit go up to, there's a certain point, well, the technicalities in the factory and also with the machine, but what we do is we control the amounts that go per particular time. So we don't allow a lot of fruit, because then they will cause clogging to the machine, which might cause it to break down. So we have to control the volumes that go in. Well, there's an average way, there's a certain amount that will go in it eventually, but little amounts are controlled with time.
I also saw that there was an area where that was cleaning. Is it sufficient enough?
It is very sufficient. So the machine we are using is an automated machine, and it is able to do the process right from the beginning to the end. Actually, even the manpower there is not so much,
not as
because
actually, yes.
we just need the feeding people they do the feeding, and then the rest of the work is done by the machine. And what they do is they just wait for the oil in the end process. Yes.
So now I did see also an area where you extract the waste before the oil is taken aside. Now, when that oil is harvested or has been squeezed, do we consume right from there?
Yes, yes.
Or it has to be be taken through some kind of processes?
So this oil, after we get it, the first step is to take it to the lab. We have a lab. So we collect samples per batch. Then we test them. We have a lab technician, a trained lab technician, qualified, test the oil, categorize the oil. Then after that, we have a cleaning process now. After production, we have another cleaning process. So we have tanks that do sedimentation. After sedimentation, there is filtration. And after that, now we have a storage tank. We do not refine our oil, but we clean it further, just to ensure that all the solid particles and sediments have been removed, so that we have clear and clean oil.
The fact that you don't refine it, the fact that you don't have any additives inclusive of something to preserve, how do you ensure that it takes longer on the shelves? What's its life shell or shell life or something like?
This is organic oil. It doesn't go bad easily. It has a shelf life of up to 3 years. So what happens is we store it properly, just store it in food grade tanks. If we are packing for supermarkets and for the shelves, we ensure that we pack in glass bottles that are dark, not light, dark glass bottles. And also we ensure that we train the supermarket's teams on where to place the oil and how to place it. But also the conditions we have in supermarkets are just ideal for keeping the oil for long. The shelf life of 3 years is a long time. So one is the storage conditions, and also, you know, the process has to start right from the garden. You don't expect to get good quality at the end process. Ensure that right from the start you have a good product. Then even at the end you will not struggle with quality, you will not struggle with shelf life. You will not struggle even that you have to store it well if you hadn't cultivated your crop well. Okay. Yep.
So when you separate the oil, the liquid oil, and the solid oil, I know, of course, the liquid oil is packed and sent to supermarkets and people buy. What about the solid that remains behind? Are you using it for any other thing here?
So actually, Njojo has embraced a zero waste policy, where we do not want to have any waste. Rather, even if we have the waste, we still add value to the waste. So research is currently underway in our labs to see how best we can incorporate this solid oil, the wax, into making cosmetics or any other functions. So that is the process we are in right now. Research and development, and once we get a product out of it, then we add value. We do not want to have any waste from our factories.
And then you add it onto your catalog.
Yep.
Why do you charge pack in 250 mils and 500 mils capacity, and not 1 liter or 10 liter as it is with other or virgin oil brands?
Actually, that is where we are going. This is a new oil. People were used to olive oil, but now there is avocado oil, which is a very good substitute. You can use avocado oil for all your cooking needs. So we introduced the 250 mils, 500 mils for people to buy and try, because you know the culture of our people is, let me buy and try. So they buy, try, and then later, because actually we've received repeat clients. So that is where we are going to getting the bigger packagings, 1 liter and even the big packagings for our clients.
You're talking about Ugandans. We are not a very diet sensitive people. We are also not financially very, very well endowed. By this I mean majority of people are living under the poverty line, and they may not be in position to probably afford. How has been the reception in your terms? Has it been a good one? What other initiatives are you doing to encourage people that this is actually safe oil to do? Besides avocado, like somebody's like, wait, an oil from Avocado, like how does that taste?
Yeah.
You know, some people have a little bit of bias. What is it that you're doing?
Educate, educate, educate.
And what has been the
sensitize.
reception?
Wow. Actually, our oil is in all supermarkets, and what we can say is we have repeat orders. People have started buying, they have embraced our oil. We are doing quite well. But what we need to do is to sensitize our people. We need to sensitize everyone, hospitals, supermarkets, schools, everywhere, expos, exhibitions. Let people know in these conferences, let people know the advantages of taking avocado oil. It might look expensive right now, but ultimately for your health, it's something you can manage.
Okay.
So we have tried to educate as many people as possible. We have gone on radios, we are on newspapers now, we are everywhere.
You are now on the Duke's channel.
We are here now telling you about virgin avocado oil, and what we produce is virgin and extra virgin avocado oil.
What is the difference?
Which is very good.
Between virgin and extra virgin?
Again, the technical language. So there's something called free fatty acids. Actually, there is extra virgin, virgin, and crude oil. So what categorizes them or what differentiates them is the free fatty acids in them. So the lower the free fatty acids, the better the oil. So crude oil has a lot of the free fatty acids, and extra virgin has little of them.
In relation to the pricing, like I said, majority of people may not be in position to purchase simply because it falls way above their budget. What is it that you think government can do to ensure that maybe it supports you and other people in line with what you're doing to be able to subsidize so that these products come out on a better price for the larger community?
What we would ask for is for the government to help. There are these factors of production, the costs of production, the price of the fruits, the price of electricity, the price of these factors that are used in production. If the government can help lower them for the processors, because processing virgin avocado oil is expensive, but if we are helped by lowering these factors of production, then it will be easier for us to produce, and then the price wouldn't be that much. Of course, it looks a bit expensive because it is expensive to produce. So if it is cheap to produce, then
it's going to be cheaper to
in the market.
In the market as well.
Yes, yes. So that is what we will ask the government.
Oh,
yep.
Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been having a conversation with Miss Nyambura, right here at Njojo Farms, located in the western region of this country, particularly the Rwenzori sub-region or Rwenzori region, that is in the district of Chenjojo. All right. We are seated on quite a couple of acres, and they are growing has avocado. So for those of you who need seeds, in fact behind me is a nursery bed, so come through and buy seeds. For those of you who need extra virgin oil, avocado oil, please get in touch with me or Njojo Farms on all their social media platforms and be able to make purchases. Well, this is not my area of expertise. I don't do industries, but because we are connected from the farm to the industry and to the oil, it is a matter of time before you start seeing results. But yes, we've started and we are not stopping. My name is Dennis Duke Oniala. Go to Sungura House and eat some amazing foods. We have rabbit meat, chicken, goat, beef, fish, and everything, pizza, all that in one place. But also be reminded to follow me on all my social media platforms at Dennis Duke UG, that is Facebook, Twitter, or rather X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and all other social media platforms. Until then, it's a goodbye.